Welcome back to Secret Squirrel Games, everybody. I'm your host, Secret Squirrel. Today we're going to go over the challenges system that is inherently built into the game. Never mind that first screen that was there. Anyway, we start off in our garage screen here, and since it is Tutorial Tuesday, like I said, we're going to go over the challenge system. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the basics of how it's set up, what some terminology means within the challenge system, what some of the rewards can be, some of the other parameters and factors that are involved, so you can make the best choices as you go forward in how to get the most out of the challenge system for you. Now, it's a great way, especially for newer players, to get some rapid rewards rather than having to just grind for basic materials and just grind for reputation with the factions in order to get access to certain workbenches in order to get equipment and things like that. Now, granted, if you're doing things that way, once you have access to workbenches, you get to pick and choose what you build. Whereas with the challenge system, you have the potential of getting loot boxes and things like that. And those, as we all know, have a little bit more of a random factor to them. But still, if you're relatively new, it may grant you access to a piece that you may be quite a while away from being able to craft yourself. And it may open your eyes to a new way of playing, basically, if you have access to a weapon that maybe wasn't something that you were going to build yourself, or at least didn't have interest at this point in building. Maybe once it's given to you for free, you go, hey, okay, you know what, I'm going to try this, and next thing you know, you're playing your game differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and look through the challenge system. Let me make sure first that all my levels and stuff like that seem okay. Let me turn my audio down just a little bit as far as my microphone. Okay, that should be... I think that should be pretty good. A little bit of a decrease. So what we're going to do is, how do you get to the challenge system? What are the challenges? How do they work? Let's start with that. Okay, so first off, from your starting screen with your garage here, you're going to have all these tabs along the top here, right? All right, so you got factions, which I've gone over factions in a previous Tuesday tutorial. I don't think it was labeled specifically as factions, so you may have to dig for it, but it is there. We have the market, the garage where you're at, obviously currently, the market where you can buy and sell goods and everything, of course. Storage, which is all the stuff you have in storage. The shop, that's where you buy things from the company for in-game usage, or premium subscriptions, or subscriptions to an event or something like that as well. You have the exhibition where people can show off their builds, or you can store builds there too. That's always a good idea too, because you only have a limited number of blueprint options or slots here to keep. You could instead build something, store it on the exhibition, and then not have to have it in your blueprint slot and be able to rebuild it later on, without having to use up a blueprint slot. Just bear that in mind too. And then you have, of course, your challenges tab. So if we select on the challenges tab, you'll see that there are two sub tabs here, challenges and badge exchange. Now the way this works is if you have a special event of some kind that's available to you to do, that will pop up on the top portion here first, okay? Now, in my case, I'm always going to have at least one thing listed here in the special events. And the reason for that is because I've already completed, there's a quest line, kind of like a little story line that they have of quests of different, of sequential missions to complete a storyline in one of the modes of the game, which is like a large open sandbox kind of section of a map that is called the Awakening, and it's the adventure mode. And you go there and you can play through a series of missions that tell a story, basically. And then once that is over, though, once you've completed that, then every day you're going to have a special event challenge available to you that is a harder version of different sections of that quest line. So it just takes one of the little segments of that quest line and makes it available to you as its own specific daily challenge here. And you'll have that option only available, like I said, daily, only good until the next day, basically, until the time resets. And as you can see from the rewards there, where it says base completion rewards and stuff like that there, you get a decent chunk of reputation out of it and some smatterings of some other basic resources. And all of that happens if you, of course, replay this mission. But one thing to note is that once you get to there will be a weekly challenge added as well. I've already done it, though. But this is what it says right here. While in the Awakening, which is the adventure mode where those quest lines are, complete harder versions of previously completed tasks. You only have to complete one of them, and you get whatever the weekly bonus is for that. I don't remember what the bonus is for completing that weekly challenge, but just bear in mind, you don't have to do these. They're a good chunk of reputation to get for not very difficult necessarily. You don't have to do them by any means. They don't count as daily challenges when we get to our daily challenges section here later on, or even when you're calculating the completion of certain weekly challenges that are dependent on the completion of daily challenges, like this one that says complete 40 daily challenges, or this one says complete 10 daily challenges, or anything like that. This does not count as a daily challenge, even though it's given to you daily, and it is a challenge, of course. So, but once you do complete at least one of those per week, you will get a weekly challenge that will be completed. So bear that in mind. Even if you don't need the reputation, at least do one of them per week, just because all your weekly challenges give you engineer badges, with the exception of this one up here that just gives you decorator container. But all the others give you engineer badges, and every engineer badge you get is worth something to you. Trust me. We'll get to the badge exchange portion and the engineer badges explanation in just a minute. So first things first, we have these special events. Sometimes you'll have other special event challenges listed up here that will be related to, obviously, a specific event, like a time-related event, like only good for however many days or whatever it is for this particular window. Sometimes you will have some of those up there. If you have a premium subscription, then you will have a challenge listed up here that will give you 40 coins for the day as well. You'll get one of those every day. So you'll see some challenges up here sometimes on the special events. If none of those qualify for you or are a factor for you, you're not eligible for any of those or whatever, then it'll just be the daily challenges section that will appear at the top of your challenges tab. Now, sometimes you'll have a third tab here, actually, not just challenges or badge exchange. You'll actually have a seasonal tab, basically related to an event season, such as the last one that we just had, which was the Syndicate and all this type of thing. It would have its own set of challenges on that tab that you would complete. Some of them were daily, some of them were weekly, some of them were about like a half a week in duration that you had to accomplish them, things like that. So sometimes you will see a third tab, so you just bear that in mind if there's a specific seasonal event going on. And by season, I'm not talking about spring, summer, autumn, winter, obviously. I'm talking about in-game seasons, events that last a good period of time. Not just something that lasts like a few days as a little event, but an actual, like, it might be 3 months or something like that. So you'll see those, and those will be a season. You got to... Everybody will get some rewards for it, but people who pay to take part fully in the season will get more rewards for it. But they are available and they will come up. We've had 4 of them so far in Crossout. We just finished one not too long ago, so you will see those. Like I said, sometimes you'll see an event that's related somewhat here, and definitely if there is a season going on, there will be a third tab, and there will be challenges on that. Now, what you will have is it'll look like this, at least. Daily challenges. And you'll have the same daily challenges for the most part. There will be some minor variations. Technically speaking, even though this says daily challenges 5, it'll give you the duration, how long these daily challenges are good, how long you have to complete these daily challenges before the next set of daily challenges refreshes and takes them over. And it resets at midnight Greenwich Mean Time or UTC, whatever one you want to consider it. Over there in England, at midnight is when it resets, okay? So you're going to have the same daily challenges, and you're actually going to have 9 of them, not 5. I know it says 5, but that's only because you only see 5 in the very beginning. The way it works is 4 of these 5 have a follow-on challenge behind them. So once you complete that challenge, it gets replaced by another challenge. It's just slightly, I don't want to say harder, but because it's not necessarily harder, just slightly more involved and offers a bigger reward. The follow-on one does. And I'll give you an example. So win 2 battles and missions. All right, here's a tracker right here. So after you complete the first one, this bar will halfway complete up. And then when you complete the second one, you won't actually see it complete all the way up because it'll just disappear because it'll be done. But win 2 battles and missions gives you 20 scrap as a reward, right? Well, once you complete this, win 2 battles and missions gets replaced by a follow-on mission or a follow-on challenge that says win 3 battles and missions. Like I said, it's not any harder to do. It's just one more mission in that case. So you have to do 3 more. So it's just a little bit more involved. I mean, if the win 2 battles and missions was easy for you to do, win 3 battles and missions will be easy for you to do too. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. But nevertheless, that's going to total out to winning 5 battles in missions. Now, the follow-on, whereas this offers 20 scrap for winning 2 battles, the follow-on of winning 3 offers 55 scrap as the reward. Likewise, win in 1 raid for 20 scrap. Once you're completed with it, it becomes win in 2 raids for 55 scrap. Now, once you complete the second one, they just disappear off of here. They go down to the very bottom where it says completed challenges, and they'll fill in here and just say completed, and it'll be no big deal. And then they'll reset at midnight, and these same things will be exactly these same things on the next day. It'll have win 2 battles and missions, followed by win 3, and win 1 raid, followed by win 2, all that stuff. Those are not going to change. They're going to be the same, but that total, even though you see 2 here, really encompasses 4 challenges because of the 2 follow-ons. So that's why I say you see 5 listed as daily challenges, and in reality, when we're done here, it gets to 9. Because those 2 have follow-ons, this one has a follow-on, and this one has a follow-on. This one does not, and we'll get to that in a second. So, win 2 battles in missions or raids, in this case using a machine gun, rapid fire machine gun, minigun, or combat laser. Now that's a daily aspect. The weapon selection. That changes daily, all right? But it's on a 3-day rotation. So today it's this. Machine gun, rapid fire machine gun, minigun, or combat laser. Tomorrow, I think yesterday was shotgun. So tomorrow for me would be the same thing, win 2 battles and missions or raids using cannon, turret cannon, or plasma weapon, I think it is. And the next day, it would say win 2 battles and missions or raids using a shotgun. Using a shotgun. So, and then the 4th day after that, it would come back to this. Machine gun, rapid fire machine gun, minigun, or combat laser. So it's on a 3-day rotation as far as the weapon of the day is concerned for you. And your weapon of the day may not match somebody else's weapon of the day. So it's not like everybody's just going to have the same use machine gun day. But there are only 3 possibilities in the rotation. So everybody's going to have one of those 3 at least, as far as that's concerned. Now, if you notice, win 2 battles and missions, and win 2 battles and missions or raids using blah, 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 the verbiage, those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, win 2 battles and missions, are the same. Meaning, as long as you're equipped with whatever the weapon of the day is, you're going to get credit for this at the same time as getting credit for this. You're going to accomplish both at the same time. If you equip a machine gun and you win 2 battles and missions or raids today with that machine gun equipped, you just start your challenge, knocking out your challenges by doing that. Well, you've already accomplished this at the same time. Now, there's some... Well, I'll come back. I was about to go in depth about something, but I'm going to come back for a second. So anyway, you see the synergy between those 2 sets of challenges, and likewise the follow-on, which is the win 3 battles and missions. Well, guess what? This gets replaced by one that says win 3 battles and missions or raids using whatever the weapon of the day is. And likewise, instead of 20 scrap, it gets 55 scrap on the follow-on. So, once we're done with those all have to do with accomplishing missions. This one is happening as you're accomplishing your daily challenges automatically. This bottom one. It says just complete 3 daily challenges. Okay, easy peasy, right? It gives you 15 scrap, but it gets a follow-on that, of course, says complete 4 daily challenges, and its reward, though, goes all the way up to 100 scrap instead of 15 scrap. So it's a significant bump up, but it asks you, in other words, to complete 7 total daily challenges, meaning these challenges up here, but then when you count in these two themselves, the 3, completing 3 daily challenges and completing 4 daily challenges, you've accomplished 9. Bear that in mind, because we're going to get to that when that number's going to count when we get to the weekly challenges in just a second. You're going to have 9 daily challenges. Keep that in your mind. This one right here, buy or sell an item on the market. Pretty self-explanatory. You go to the market, you buy something, or you go to your storage, you pick an item you want to sell, and you sell it on the market. Doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to require a tremendous cost or anything like that. It could be something simple. It could be a fuel barrel. It could be a basic machine gun, the most basic stuff, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. You either bought it, you sold it, satisfied. 25 scrap, boom. And more importantly than the 25 scrap, it counts as the accomplishment of a daily challenge just by doing that. This is one that's on a 2-day rotation. Tomorrow, that one's going to say craft an item on any workbench. That's what it's going to say. And it's going to have the same reward, 25 scrap, but it's going to say craft an item on any workbench. And that would take you back to your faction section, which, like I said, was in a different tutorial Tuesday. And you would go to a workbench. If you don't have anything in particular you need, just build a basic item that you know you're going to use for crafting later on. Just build, I don't know, whatever, LM54 core. It doesn't require you much in the way of resources. It's immediate. There's no time concern. Boom. It's crafted. You're done. All right. So buy or sell an item on the market can be the same thing. Craft an item if you don't have something you already want to sell. Craft a real basic item like that. Put it on the market. Sell it. You've accomplished another daily challenge that way. Like I said, and that's going to be important when we get down to the weekly challenges here in a minute. So, this does not have a follow-on, but it does have a 2-day rotation with a different type of mission, which is the craft an item on any workbench versus buy or sell an item on the market. So bear that in mind. Now, returning back up here, I do want to point out that when we're doing these, not only are we accomplishing the daily challenges, but we can plan out what we're doing with them. So win in one, well, especially this one, and the missions too. All right. So win in one raid, for example, sure, you can just go out and just do any raid or whatever, and that'll be a different tutorial when we talk about all the different modes and things like that, when we get over here to the modes and everything like that. But the map, we'll say, whatever, that'll be a different tutorial. But you could go and just do any of the raids, which, as I will talk about in that, are any of these ones with these like green banners here. Those all count as raids, right? So you could go do any, or you could be smart about it and look down here at your weekly challenges and note that some of these weekly challenges have specific requirements related to raids, like win 10 battles in normal raids with copper as the reward. If you want to get 150 engineer badges, and you know you're capable of accomplishing normal level raids, there's easy, normal, and hard level raids, then you could do these and through the course of the week ensure that you're not just randomly doing raids, but you're actually working toward progress to get you 150 engineer badges. So in other words, you can ensure that you do 10 over the course of the week, or something like that. Or as you can see, I have progress here with hard raids with copper as the reward. Well, today I'm going to do more hard raids with copper as a reward. My goal being to finish this bar and get those 500 engineer badges. But in doing so, I'm satisfying my win in one raid and the follow-on win in 2 raids. Well, that's going to be 3 raids, right? But I'm making sure that they're not just random. I'm not just going to the map and picking any raid and at the end of the week I have, 2 raids progress on this one, and 3 raids progress on this one, and 2 raids on this one, and 5 raids progress on this one, and I didn't complete any of them, and thus I got none of the engineer badges. That wouldn't do me any good. So plan this out a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be schematics and all kinds of calculus involved or anything like that. Just kind of keep in the back of your head, and the easy thing about it is that you have progress bars right here below that you can use to help you plan out what you're going to do as far as win raids. Now, here's where wording comes in, okay? First off, you have to pay attention to the fact that it says win. These aren't just compete in. These are win, all right? There are some times where you'll get a challenge that'll just say complete a raid or something like that, or a mission or whatever it is. All that means is participate in it. That doesn't mean you have to win it, you know? So you'll see those sometimes, but these are all win. So the only things that count for you in this case are wins, all right? Bear that in mind as we get into my accomplishing my daily challenges here in just a minute, all right? Because I'm going to tell you that, especially for this one and this one, super easy way to accomplish those, best chances of success way to accomplish those are with a low power score vehicle against bots instead of against players in what's called a patrol mission. Because you have a much higher chance of success against them. The vehicles are squishy. They get destroyed real quick and easy. They're very short and quick battles. It's an easy way to efficiently accomplish these 2 missions, or these 2 challenges, excuse me, and the follow-on 2 challenges for them at the same time. Within 15 minutes, you've accomplished all of those easy. And probably well less than 15 minutes, but you've accomplished all 4 of those, daily challenges in no time with very good high chances of success. All right, so just bear that in mind. So you have to win first off. Secondly, you'll see the words missions and raids, and then also what you'll see is the word battles in different places. Now, you'll also see brawls, like right here, when take a prize place 9-time enemy brawl. These are all different types of events that you can do in the game, and different types of combat that you can do in the game. Now, this one's specific. This says while in the adventure, complete 20 side or group missions. So if we do look at the map, you know what, I might as well make the map part of this. I mean, it really kind of is tied in with the challenges anyway, so it's fine. The adventure is this one. It's called Awakening, but you see in the smaller print underneath the title of it is what type of event this is that you're choosing to go into, and that would be adventure. This is the only one that is an adventure. It's this 8-pointed star here, and it's the only adventure mode option you have. You can't. None of the others are adventures. This is the only place you can do it. So this is the place where you're going to complete those 20 side or group missions. Side or group missions. Additionally, this one right here, this replaying the quest line, that happens also in the adventure mode. That's where all the quest storyline stuff is. It's all here. It's a larger sandbox than all the other maps, than the other maps that people play on, as far as the arena battles and the raids and things like that. Those maps are nowhere near as big as this map. Now, so that's the only place that particular weekly challenge can be satisfied. All right, is by going into that map and doing that. Additionally, like I said, there are missions, there are battles, and there are raids. So let's look at the difference real quick. A battle is a generic term. All right, battle is it's the category. I'll say that. I won't say it's a generic term. I'll say it's the category. Okay. And then within battle, you'll have other events like missions. See where that says mission versus survivors under the name of the individual event? Like get wires and then mission versus survivors. Get the scrap metal, mission versus survivors. Get the batteries, mission versus survivors. Mission is PvP, all right? Mission is arena battle type events. I won't say PvP actually. Let me walk that back one step because I'm about to tell you about a mission that's not PvP. So I'm about to counter myself. But mission is arena battle type events, like 8 versus 8. Whether they're PvP or PvE, whatever. It's like 8 versus 8, 6 versus 6, whatever. Depending on what it is, those are missions. Okay, but it's like an arena. It's everybody just kills each other, or it might be capture the base, whatever it is. Capture the opponent's base, capture some central base, capture 3 different bases. Whatever it is, it's just going to be like an arena event. There's no quasi story to it, you know. This one also qualifies as a mission, even though it says battle against AI vehicles. Ultimately speaking, graphically, on the map, the things that qualify as missions are all in these hexagons. If it's a hexagonal shape here, then it's a mission. Okay? Now, what qualifies as a raid? These green banners. Alright? Those are raids. Okay? Now, raids have a little bit of a story to them. They're all PvE. And they all have a little bit of a story. So, like, you can see here where it says hit and run, for example. It's a raid versus bandits in this case. And it'll give you the parameters there. It'll tell you what the difficulty level of the mission is, or the raid, excuse me. It'll tell you the map that it's using. It'll tell you what enemies you're facing, so you have an idea of what to expect as far as what kind of weaponry they're going to have, what kind of vehicle design they're going to have, things like that. And then it'll give you a blurb here that'll kind of give like a little story, you know, that's attached to the raid. So in this case, the truck driver's trying to get out of the dangerous area. He's asking for help. He kept silent about the fact, though, that his car was borrowed from a group of survivors, in other words, stolen. And now you have to not only get away from the chase, but to slip out of the triple ring of roadblocks and minefields. Okay, gives you an idea of what you're kind of doing. It has to do with a truck, and you're going to be escorting this truck, basically trying to get out of this area. All right. Now, one factor that's different, or not different, I guess, it just, well, you'll see that a lot of these missions have requirements. So, a lot of these battles, I should say, a lot of these events, whatever, whether they're battles, brawls, missions, whatever, they have requirements. Some requirement there is level 4 with the engineers, and then it rewards scrap. You can see that underneath, right? This one has a requirement of at least a power score 4,000 vehicle, which currently I don't have in my garage. I have 4,000 power score vehicles, definitely, but my active vehicle in the garage is not 4,000 power score. Level 10 with the engineers, and it rewards wires, things like that. This one specifies in patrol, like if I click on it, you'll see this is a practice battle where you can't earn fuel. It's easier to win and score points here, so you get smaller rewards. But it'll reward scrap, and it only requires level 5 with the engineers. But then when you get to raids, you'll note that there is another requirement. In addition to potentially a level with particular factions or a power score, there's also this little teardrop thing that's over here. And yeah, it's over here. I'm pointing over here, but I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's pointing over here, or it's over here, and it has a 60 next to it. That means it's going to cost you 60 fuel. You're actually going to pay to play in a raid, okay, a little bit. Now, what you're paying is this number up here, this green teardrop shape up here. Now, that's your fuel. That's your fuel in your tank, not the fuel that you may have stored in your storage. This is what you have active in your tank. You can only hold 200 liters in your tank at any given time. It gets topped off for free every day. So if you were at 0 and you didn't put fuel in your tank the next day, or at the end of the day or whatever, it gets topped off to 200. You just get that free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you were at 180 at the end of the day, then guess what? Topped off to 200. It doesn't give you 200 liters. It just tops you off to 200. So whatever you get free is dependent on how empty your tank was. So that fuel is what is used in order to get you into raids. So you'll note this is 2 stars. So it's a normal level raid up on the mission parameters. This one's against fire starters on the crater map. but it has a 40 fuel cost in the requirements section. You see it? And this one, because it's 3 stars, is a hard level raid. It has 60 fuel costs. And this one's only 1 star, so it's an easy level raid, and it costs 20 fuel. Easy peasy, right? So that's how those work. That's the differences between missions and raids. Missions are like arena-style battles, and raids are, they have like a little bit of a storyline to them. And all the raids are PvE. Missions are usually PvP, except for this one right here is specifically against AI vehicles. So it's an arena-style battle against that. Now, brawls are different. Brawls are usually on a timer where they'll have one active and one shut down, and they'll alternate. So when one goes inactive, the other one will become active and stuff like that. And they have just they're going to be arena-style battles, but they're going to put specifications like special blueprint requirements, things like that on there. Sometimes a brawl might not even let you use your own vehicle at all. They'll give you a set vehicle that everybody drives, the same vehicle or whatever, something like that. That's what brawls are. Brawls are like special arena battles in that sense. They're not just bring your own thing and we'll just match you up and you'll fight. No, it's going to be we have this as a set event, kind of how it's going to operate, and everybody's restricted to that. And then you have Leviathan battle here with Invasion. That's different, obviously. And then a Battle Royale over here. And then, of course, Bedlam here. And these ones are just, like this says, no holds barred. You know, there's a level 4 requirement. But other than that, everybody goes in the same conditions, starting mostly harmless cards that may be later equipped with weapons that are scattered around the map. And there's a storm coming, and also they're just different types of battles. You know, this one is anything. This one's anything. No rules, no rewards, anything. Just go. It's not even gonna evenly match everybody. All the contestants are just thrown into a battlefield and just go at it. So you can see there are different battle types and everything over on the map, and that's where you have to pay attention to the wording in your daily and weekly challenges. So, for example, this says 2 battles and missions. We know that those are the ones that say missions, first off, and those are those hexagonal shaped ones, you know, where you could fight bots or you're going to do PvP in those. Raids are the green banners. We know that. This is missions with scrap metal as a reward. Win in 8 battles with missions and the scrap metal as a reward. Well, 3 now, because one, that colored hexagonal one that was off to the side, that's a special event that's going on right now. It doesn't reward scrap. One of the missions rewards wires. One rewards batteries. Those 2 would not qualify for the completion of this one. There's one that says get the scrap metal. And then the one against the bots, the AI bots, one they call Patrol, that also rewards scrap metal. It just rewards less. But it qualifies for this because it rewards scrap metal. Easy raids. Doesn't specify anything. The reason it doesn't specify anything like against, well, it could specify against particular enemies or something like that, but it doesn't. But it has absolutely no need to specify a particular reward because all the easy raids only give copper. So, like, if we look at that, and by all, there's always 2. There's 2 easy, 2 normal difficulty level raids, and 2 hard difficulty level raids at any given time. So here, copper on this easy raid and copper on this easy level raid. That's what this resource is that's right here under reward. And then the normal difficulty level raids will have one that rewards plastic, and the other will reward copper. And then the hard difficulty level raids, one will reward electronics, and the other will reward copper. And it will always be that way. These will always be the same up here, these hexagonal ones. And you see as I move around, they stay in the same position on the screen. They move, in other words. They're like floating. They're not attached to a specific point on the map. But all these other banners and symbols are attached to a specific point on the map. And that designates what map that match is going to be played on. These up here are not designated that because they randomize the map. Each time you play, it's gonna randomize. So you get the scrap metal one time, it might play in the factory, another time it might play, the bridge or something like that. Whatever. It's all randomized. What's going on, Waster War? How you doing, man? And then what you'll see is when you look at like one of these banners, for example, with the mission parameters, the difficulty, the enemy, and the map. And it says at the very bottom, new raids will be available in 24 minutes and whatever seconds. Every hour on the hour, those are going to rotate. And by rotate, I don't necessarily mean in just these 6 spots either. But there are other maps too. But it's going to randomly change map, randomly change enemy, but it's not going to change the difficulty. So what I mean by that is there's still going to be a normal difficulty level raid with copper as the reward. It just may not be on this same map, and it may not be against the same enemy. It may be on this same map, but against a different enemy. It may be against the same enemy, but on a different map. It may be on a different map and against a different enemy. It's just the way it works. It's going to be completely random. But there's not going to be 2 raids on the same map. That's not going to happen. Whatever one takes that map, then it's good. The others are going to be on other locations. And you'll get to, if you play enough and you pay attention to this kind of stuff, you're going to get used to the idea. And it's kind of indicated by color coding anyway. You can see that this is more of an urbanized, grayish. It looks more like a city or factory industrial kind of thing over in this area. You can see the green for more forested areas. You can see the brownish over here, and then you start getting into the desert type maps and things like that. So you can kind of pick up on all this stuff anyway, right? So back to the challenges tab itself. Just chilling, cool. I'm just doing a tutorial on challenges here. And now, once you're done with your 9 daily challenges, you'll note as we move into the weekly challenges, and we've already touched on a couple of things here, the different types of raids, the different types of battles with missions and rewards that are given there, and what's qualifying for what, right? So just pay attention to those kind of things. 10 battles with normal raids with copper as the reward. You can go find it on the map by looking at the green banners, because we're talking about raids, 2-star green banners, normal raids, and then one of them will be with plastic and one with copper. If you wanted to complete the 10 with copper, you just make sure you're picking the right one. That's all. And after you complete 10, you'll get 150 engineer badges, which I'm going to go into in just a second what that reward means. Or you can go the easy way and just pick on this right here, and it'll bloop. Everything else will be kind of grayed out a little bit or whatever, subdued, and this one is nice and still bright for you, and will tell you which one is the normal raid with copper as the reward. So that's an easy way to get right to it if that's what you're looking for. That way you don't have to go looking at each banner. Now we get into the fun part. All right, the good part about this, the benefit of doing this, the benefit of paying attention to what you're doing and accomplishing your weekly challenges by accomplishing your daily challenges. And all right, so as you accomplish your daily challenges, you get smart with which ones you pick and all this stuff in order to have a plan to complete weekly challenges. That's what you're really doing. And the reason you're doing that is because as you get these engineer badges, they can be exchanged for nice things. So this one here, complete 10 daily challenges, it's going to give you a decorated container. That's just going to be random building items that you can then put on your test track for you to, I don't know, make you feel better about your test track. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the decorator containers and things like that. I don't really, I decorated up my test track one little bit, and I realized this is really limited, and this is purely basically just for me, and it doesn't matter. So I ignore that personally, but it's there if you're into that sort of thing. But other than that, the rest of them all offer engineer badges. Engineer badges, what are they? You come to this tab right here, badge exchange. If you're short of resources that you want to craft, or you see an opportunity on the market maybe to sell an item, a resource or something that has skyrocketed in price for whatever reason, and you want to take advantage of that opportunity, and you have a bunch of engineer badges, maybe your best option might be come in here, use some engineer badges, get some of that resource, and bink, put it on there on the market and stuff like that. Yeah, I know you can share test drives, but I still don't see much of the point of it, honestly. You know? But I mean, it's just, so if you're bored and you want to decorate, I guess that's really all it comes down to. So, but you can purchase some resources. Now, these are on a 4-week rotation. All right. And what I mean by that is right now, 200 scrap is worth, you can buy 200 scrap for 120 engineer badges. The number before the slash is how many engineer badges I currently have. All right. And then you can buy, 50 copper for 20 engineer badges, things like that. Now, what you need to do is you need to go to the market and see whether it's worth you doing this or not. Sometimes the prices are so cheap on the market, there's no real point. Now, on the market, you'd be using your coins, but sometimes the prices are so cheap, there's no use in you doing it this way, to buy certain resources and stuff like that with engineer badges. You would use your engineer badges instead for more valuable trade-offs instead. But what I mean by they're on a 4-week rotation is right now this is 200 for 120. This is 50 of these for 20. This is 25 of these for 40. Next week, starting Sunday night, midnight, Greenwich Mean Time, UTC, whatever, these change. The price, the exchange rate changes. So instead of 200 for 120, let me actually, you know what? I was going to say I might give you just a hypothetical of what it is, but I actually wrote them all down. So I can tell you, from 200 for 120, it should switch to 50 scrap for 35. All right, for 35 badges. So you would get 50 scrap for 35 engineer badges. And then it would go after that the next week to 500 scrap for 265 engineer badges. And then the week after that it'll go to 100 scrap for 65 engineer badges. One thing you'll note is not just that the quantities are changing and the price is of course changing commensurate with the quantities, the exchange rate is changing, but also the value of the engineer badge per unit of that resource is also changing. It's not staying constant. It's not like this week you get, for 5 engineer badges, you get 5 scrap, and then next week for 10 engineer badges, you get 10 scrap, and the next week you get 20 scrap for 20 engineer badges. So it's always a 1-for-1 or a 2-for-1 or whatever ratio. It's not always the same. Therefore, there are some weeks that you get more bang for your buck. So in the case of scrap, for example, right now we're at 200 for 120. Next week, at least according to my chart, at least the rotation that it was on, I unless they alternated it or randomized it at all, I don't know. But at least the rotation that it was on when I made this chart, which was admittedly a few months ago, but I haven't noticed any difference yet, would be 50 scrap for 35 engineer badges. Well, what does that translate to? That means that at this week, you're paying 0.6 engineer badges per scrap unit, per single unit of scrap that you get, right? But next week, you're paying 0.7 engineer badges per scrap unit. Therefore, I don't know, exchanging for the highest amount is the profitable trade. Yeah, yes. I see what you're saying. Yes, and that is true. That is exactly true. That is a way to summarize it, yes. But a lot of people don't know when is the highest amount. Like 200 seems like a good amount. Maybe that's the highest, but it's not. There's in 2 weeks, there will be an exchange rate for 500 scrap. That's the highest, and that's the best exchange rate because that's at 0.53 engineer badges per unit. But yes, you are correct. for each of the resources, the highest of the 4 weeks amount that they have to sell or to trade for, I should say, is also the most economical, advantageous exchange rate for you. In the case of scrap, there is a time, it should be 2 weeks from now, where you'll be able to trade engineer badges for units of 500 scrap at a time. That's your best price, your best exchange rate of engineer badges for scrap. Now, the thing to keep in mind about that, though, is that while that may be your most advantageous, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have 500 scrap that you, or not 500 scrap, 265 scrap that you would need for that. Maybe you only have 200 scrap, or whatever, or you have other things that you need to spend on. You just want to know, not necessarily, I mean, it helps if you're going to exchange for resources. It obviously helps it to know when the best exchange rate is, but it also helps to know when the worst is. So you know, if it's Sunday and you're looking at, well, next week, if it's next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday, a week from this coming Sunday, and you're thinking, oh, I need some scrap, I've got engineer badges, maybe I'll just pop this in or whatever. It's not that big a deal that it's not the best exchange rate or whatever. Yeah, well, just at least wait a day. At least wait a day, because you should know that next week is actually the worst week for exchanging the engineer badges for the scrap, because you're literally paying what? I guess that's 15, like 20%. Yeah, you're literally paying more than just over 20% more to buy your scrap that way, as compared to just waiting a day. You're gonna get considerably less, you know, because it's gonna go from 0.7 per scrap, 0.7 engineer badges per scrap unit to 0.53 per scrap unit just overnight, you know, from Sunday to Monday, at the end of next week, not this week, but still. So it's good to know that kind of thing, and it can all be plotted out if you're willing to put the effort into it. It's not that big a deal. But yes, what Waster said is true. If you have the engineer badges and you don't care, but you want to buy some resources or whatever, when they're at the maximum quantity that you can trade for, that is the best value also. It's just that you don't necessarily know what the maximum quantity is unless you've paid attention to the fact that scrap, for example, has a max quantity of 500 on one of the weeks that you will be able to trade for. Copper max quantity will be 200. Wires will be 200. Plastic will be 100. Electronics will be 100. Batteries will be 200. When you see those numbers, that's your best exchange rate. So, just to let you know. But yeah, this group, but be aware that what I'm saying though is that this whole group of exchange options is clumped together. So anytime you see 200 scrap for 120 engineer badges, these other prices are going to be the same also, as you see right now, because this is one set of exchange rate prices. And then next week, all of them change, and they're not changing randomized, they're changing to another set of exchange rates. So this week, for example, since we're on the 200 scrap for 120 engineer badges, this week is the best for none of them. This is not your best exchange rate week for any of these basic resources here. None of them. Next week is the best for wires and plastic. The week after that is the best for scrap, copper, and electronics. And then the week after that is the best for batteries. And then we're back to this set after that. So that's just a way to look at it. Those things are factors if you wanted to use your engineer badges for exchange of resources. You know, to do that, what else can engineer badges be used for? They can buy certain parts. And these also rotate, as you can see, 5 days. In other words, because today's Tuesday, rotate on the same schedule, and they will change and only grant you access to certain parts. There may be other parts that you could craft, but they may be grayed out down here because you've already reached your maximum amount of those parts in other ways. You know, either they were part of a season they were given to you, or you've earned them from a particular workbench or whatever it is, and that way you can't craft them anymore because you only have a maximum. Just like the ones you craft here, it says 0 of 4, I would only be able to craft 4 of those parts, and then I would be maxed out, and that thing would be grayed down at the bottom. And then what's the other way? You can accumulate your engineer badges, and you can get little loot boxes, little loot crates here. You can see this one costs 600 engineer badges. This used to be, it didn't cost engineer badges. It used to be on the weekly challenges as a reward on its own. It would just give it to you, all right, after you completed 42 daily challenges. Now they swapped it out, and on the weekly challenge instead, it says complete 40 daily challenges instead of 42, and they give you 400 engineer badges for that. So what that did in effect is that increased the price of the miner's container, because whereas before you had to complete 42 daily challenges and you got the miner's container for free out of that just automatically, now you complete 40 daily challenges, but you get 400 engineer badges. But that also means that since this costs 600 engineer badges, you don't get this every week. You get this every, potentially, based on the same concept, you get this not for 42 daily challenges, but for 60 daily challenges, basically, it would cost you, because it's 50% more, essentially, in that respect. But the alternative to it is that now that it's engineer badges instead, the later game players don't have to get tied down with getting miners containers that they may not even want. Instead, they're getting engineer badges that they can then spend on something else that they might want. So anyway, miners container, for example, you'll see it could have any of these contents in it. Or it could have 200 coins. And you'll note that of these contents, you see purple items, you see blue items. I've gone over all that stuff during the tutorial on the factions and the workbenches and the different rarities of the items and the strengths of the different items and things like that. But you'll see you can get a coin pack of 200 coins. That could be in here. Key factor on the miner's container, though, any of those items that you get would be untradeable. Alright, see where it says epic untradeable part except for wheels? Rare untradeable part with high probability? The common parts are the only ones that you would be able to do anything with, really. You can't trade or craft with those blue or purple items that you get out of a miner's container. So that is a key factor to keep in mind. Okay. Other than that, though, you go to the Wanderer's container as an option. Also for 600 engineer badges. Same price. Does not have the 200 coin possibility. Does not have the purple unit item possibility. Only has rare parts. Which, if you look on here, a much more limited set of options here. But they are tradable and they are craftable. Meaning you can put them on the market and get coins for them, or you could use them in the crafting of another item without issue. Pathfinder's container here, considerably higher price, 3,000, but you'll note the color change, and that's because it gives you an epic part, a purple part. Also craftable, so it can be used in crafting. Also tradable, so it can be sold. Now, in that case, you're looking at trading. The average for these parts is between 300 and 400 coins. You can also sell the container itself. You can see for 358, basically, whatever, 345 for you. This would be sellable for 70 or whatever, stuff like that. Around 70 also here for that one. But 358, you could just sell the container without opening it. Or you could open it and get a part that's 300 or 400 or whatever in value. Now, does that mean you lose money because you got the part that's worth 300 instead of selling the container? Not necessarily, because you can use the part in crafting still later on and saves you the 300, whatever then. It just depends on how you look at it. So, all of that satisfies basically the challenges description. We have our weekly challenges, and remember to pay attention to the verbiage, the wording, battles, missions, raids, things like that, side or group missions in the case of the adventure, the rewards, the difficulty levels of raids, all that stuff. The wording matters in what qualifies as what. So now that that's all been explained, we're going to move on to completing our daily challenges. And how are we going to do that? Well, first, the way I do it is the first thing I do when I'm going to pop on and complete my daily challenges is I immediately come straight to the challenge tab and I look and see what the weapon of the day is. You know, what weapon do I need to equip today in a low power score vehicle, because I want to maximize my potential of knocking these challenges out as fast and easy as possible. I don't want to go into PvP for the challenges. If I want to play PvP, I'll just go into PvP and play PvP for a while, and I don't want to have the frustration of trying to meet a challenge while I'm doing PvP if I can avoid it. So if it's win 2 battles in missions, I don't want to go in and say, okay, I'm just going to win 2 battles in missions. And I go into PvP, which qualifies, sure, and then I'm playing and I lose. And then I play more and then I lose. And then I play more and then I lose. And then I go, okay, now I'm getting frustrated because I just need to win 2 missions. I just need to win 2 missions. Excuse me. And that gets aggravating. On the other hand, if I've already got my daily challenges out of the way, I don't really care as much that I'm losing. I don't care because I'm just playing. I'm having fun and just playing the PvP part. So I like to get my challenges out of the way, know that that requirement is already met. Fastest and easiest way possible is to do low power score against bots. I'm telling you, your win percentage is much higher, like 90 something percent. You know, especially in low power score, it's at least 90%. You rarely lose a low power score against bots. Now, mid power score, it starts to, they start to become a little bit, it starts to lower to maybe 80, 70, 70 something percent or whatever. And then when you get the higher power scores, the bots are no joke sometimes at higher power scores. So don't sleep on the idea that bots are easy to kill. Not necessarily. High power score bots are snipers, first off. They don't miss most of the time. So you got to pay attention to that kind of thing. They will mess you up. But if you want to make sure you get these wins, low power score against bots is the way to do it. The vehicles are so squishy. Quite often, your wait time in the queue to start a match is longer than the actual match. The match lasts like a minute and a half, and it's done, and you've got to win. A minute, then you'll be in the queue for maybe 2 minutes, and then a minute and a half, done, and you got another win. And that satisfies boom and boom automatically. You've already done 2 challenges, and it's taking you like, 7 minutes or something like that? 8 minutes? You do that some more by 15 minutes or so, usually, you're done with 4 of your daily challenges. These 2 and the 2 follow-on for 3 of missions in each. It's an easy way to do it. Then you move on to raids, and then I start getting more specific as far as what kind of raids I want to do, what difficulty level, what reward, all this stuff, so that I meet a weekly challenge requirement at the same time. All right. So, buy or sell an item on the market. I can do that real quick just to satisfy a daily challenge, because I want to get to those complete 40 daily challenges during the course of the week so that I can get those 400 engineer badges to add to my opportunity to get a Pathfinder container. Like Waster just said in chat a second ago, he part fishes with Pathfinder, and if it's less than 375 on the sell tab. So you can do that. You can definitely do that. So what I want to do is I want to just complete daily challenges. An easy one. Buy or sell an item on the market. Not a problem. I have plenty of repair kits right now. I'm just going to throw one of those on there. I mean, it doesn't even matter to me what the price. The price is pretty normalized anyway, so it's fine. People are asking a bunch of people are willing to spend $320 for it. The lowest price offered right now is $389. I'll go $375. What the hell? Boom. I'll see if somebody wants to take it at 375. I think it'll sell pretty quick. That way, it shouldn't be an issue. I really don't even care if that's a little bit of a loss. It's only a loss of a few pennies, but it satisfies the daily challenge requirement then once it's sold. In the meantime, like I said, the weapon du jour is machine gun, rapid fire machine gun, minigun, or combat laser. Like I said, low power score is the way to go. This is a shotgun build for me, even though it's got an autocannon back here. It has, and there you go, my item sold. Done. There's one daily challenge out of the way. But it does have a shotgun on it, so that was for yesterday's daily challenge. So if I come up here and I go, not that one, this one. This one has machine guns on it. Low power score. If we look at the stats, 1900 power score. Nice and low. All good. Satisfies the requirements I need for the daily challenge. I go to patrol. That's a battle against AI vehicles, like I said. That's against bots. It doesn't offer much in the way of rewards, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to get rewards for completing the challenge. I'm getting scrap for completing the challenges anyway. And more importantly, I'm completing the challenges, which will get me engineer badges. And I'm doing it fast and efficiently. I'm going to get wins real fast. Like I said, the queue might take longer than the match, depending on the day. Right now, we're at like 20-something seconds for the queue. If we get up to like 2 minutes, you know, if we get past a minute and a half, it'll probably take it. That'll probably be longer than the match will take. The match will probably take about a minute and a half. But that's all we're waiting on right now, is waiting on the queue. And then once we're in, oh, there we go. We're already in. So not even a long queue. That's good. Excellent. And you can see the power scores of the opponents and us and everything like that. And it's not very long, or not very high power scores. So these are squishy vehicles. These vehicles don't take much to kill. Yeah, the weapons aren't that powerful, but doesn't really matter. They don't have to be if the vehicles that you're fighting aren't that powerful either. Like, here comes an enemy, and come on, man. Ah, okay, knocked me into the pole. We're all scrambling everywhere. There's only a couple enemies left. There we go. That battle took no time. We're good to go. What's going on, Dan Bob? How you doing, man? I was just knocking out a tutorial, and now I'm on to doing my daily challenges. But as you can see, missions like that, like I said, the hexagonal shaped events up here at the top to include patrol, all are just arena battles. You start on one side, the other team starts on the other side, and you go at it. More often than not, in these cases, see, like sometimes you'll have like a neutral base, capture this base. Sometimes you'll have capture the enemy's base. You know, in some of the hexagonal missions, sometimes you'll have like an A, B, and a C area, and it's whichever team captures 2 of the bases first, or and the other option at all times in any of them, or eliminate the enemy, all the enemy. Those are always the other optional, win condition. And I had that one in my sights the whole time. There we go. These battles don't take very long. That's 2 wins already. Nice and easy. Like I said, there were very high percentage chance of wins on those. And as I mentioned before, win 3 battles and missions, win 3 battles and missions or raids. 55 scrap reward instead of 20 scrap, because these are the follow-on quests. You'll note that now, because we sold the item, that one disappeared because it didn't have a follow-on challenge. And then the complete 3 daily challenges has already changed to complete 4 daily challenges because we sold the item. We did the win 2 battles and missions, and we did the win 2 battles and missions or raids using machine gun, rapid fire machine gun, minigun, or laser. So now we're on to completing the 4 daily challenges, of course, the remaining 4 daily challenges. Right? No, we still have raids, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Yep. And then the complete, Alright, I guess we're stopping everybody over here. Looks like they're all clumped up over here. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not concerned about that one. What's going on, Barry? How you doing? Yeah, just trying to kill some cars, man. I should have just gone the other way. Instead of trying to follow everybody this way. There we go. Well done, guys. Kudos. And we've got what? 2 more to do? 2 more to do. See, I just completed the weekly challenge of winning 8 battles and missions with scrap metal as a reward too. So got those engineer badges. See, it's down here under the completed now. All those engineer badges are going to accumulate and get me a nice Pathfinder container. Not a bad deal. Yeah. We need 2 more of these and we'll be done. Thinking of weapons that aren't in the game? Like, what's that? You saying that I was boring you? So your mind wandered? That's alright. It's fine. My feelings aren't hurt. It's fine. Ah! There we go. Triple barrel grenade launcher relic idea, like the one that they're doing, coming up with, yeah. I get it. It happens. So we need 1 more of these, and we'll have completed 2 more daily challenges, and we'll be halfway through this one already. The remaining 2 that will be needed for the complete 40 daily challenges, if you remember, will be not only winning 1 raid, but winning 2 raids after it. So that even though you'll only see this one here, and I'll need 2 more daily challenges, you'll actually it'll actually represent 2 that need to be done. So that'll be 3. I get you. I get that way. So that'll be a total of 3 raids that we'll need after this next mission. And we're going to be doing those 3 raids down here as hard raids with copper as the reward to make progress toward this 500 engineer badges for this weekly challenge. That's going to be the plan. Now, we are going to switch vehicles for that, though, because it is a hard raid, and not only would I have no success with this little vehicle and this low power score vehicle in the hard raids, but the hard raids actually have a power score requirement anyway that vehicle does not meet. Power score requirement being 5,000 power score for a minimum for a hard raid. So, and there's no scaling of the enemy strength really for like if you bring a weaker vehicle, the enemy doesn't get weaker. The only thing that does happen is the numbers. There are less enemies if you have an incomplete team on your raid. So, and raids are 2 to 4 players against bots. It does not auto complete your group. So it doesn't. Oh, what am I doing? This is a. I thought this was an enemy. I wasn't even paying attention because I'm talking. So what I mean by that is, in the case of these missions like this, all right, where it's 8 versus 8, for example, whether it's against bots or PvP, either way, it's 8 versus 8, meaning there are. God damn it. Oh. You need to shut it with that. Oh. They're going to win this one, maybe. I don't know. It's 2 to 3. One of our team's a bot, and he's out. Oh, yep. See, like I said, it's not a guarantee, but it's a much higher chance of success. It's 90-something%, I would say, chance of success. But it does happen that you do lose them sometimes. But what I was saying is I know, right? What I was saying is that these matches up here are 8 versus 8. Now, in these ones over here, they're PvP. So at least 4 members of each team have to be players, actual regular players. And then up to the other 4 can be bots to flesh out the team. So it could be 5 players and 3 bots on one team and 4 players and 4 bots on the other team. Whatever. Or it could be, 8 players versus 8 players, But you're not going to see more than 4 bots on either team. This one, the one against bots, is 8 bots on one team and at least 4 players on the other team, with the remainder up to 8 being fleshed out, by bots, if there are no more human players on the team. In raids, though, they're 2 to 4 human players playing. No bots on your team. They don't flesh out the team to 4 if there's only 2 players. It's just you just go with 2 players. And that's where you see scaling of the raid, in as much as the number of enemies that come out there because of how many players you have on your team. So if you have only 2 players, then you'll have less enemies to fight. I'm about to get my butt handed to me because they all ganged up on me. Well, hopefully, as long as the team wins, that's all that matters to me. Hopefully they will, although we're already down 3. Damn. Alright, well, that's not a good shot. So like in raids, for example, like I said, if you have 2 players, then there's going to be less enemies. If you have 3 players, there'll be a little bit more, and if you have 4 players, there'll be more, with potentially, a higher percentage of them are going to be not bosses, but a little bit more elevated units and stuff like that too. They're like a tier 2 unit, if you want to call it that. So that's the way raids work as far as their scaling versus players. Why are you spinning around in circles? Shoot his guns off, man. Oh, well, he's about to die. Oh, yep. That guy died. We're down to 2, they're down to 2. Their 2 have machine guns. This guy's got a tow launcher. He wants to get some distance to be able to use it. You should probably just go away from our base and use it, because they're coming to the base. Oh, he got smoked. This may not go well. We're going to lose another one. Wow. I'm surprised. I am really surprised that 2 of these things have been lost. I'm really surprised. All right, time to pull my head out of my butt and get this thing straightened out. We're not going to lose anymore. We're not losing anymore. First off, I think I only need 1 more, right? I only need 1 more. Yeah, so we're not losing anymore. I'm winning this one. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be a loss here. Nope, that ain't the way this is going to work. But yeah, so like I said, that's one of the differences also between raids and missions is that, you know, missions are going to be 8 versus 8, and raids are going to be up to 4 human players, but there's going to be a lot more enemy than just 4 or 8 or anything like that. It's just that they're going to be in different stages of the mission or in waves or anything like, or something like that. You're not going to encounter like 40 enemy at one time, but you may encounter 40 enemy during the course of the battle or during the course of the raid. From like I said, if you escorting a truck, for example, down a lengthy map, for example, or something like that, you encounter 4 or 5 here and 4 or 5 there and stuff like that. Who knows? Probably not 40 in most cases, but a good amount. Bink. Damn it. On this ship. So this is the way battle should go. More like this. Those last couple, man, that was tragic. I mean, it was shocking, too, a little bit, that those last 2 went the way they went. So anyway, what we've done now is we've completed those. All we have left are raids. It'll show 2 left, even though you only see 1 raid here, because like I said, it will be followed on by one that says win in 2 raids. And then this one, and then the follow-on will be the 2 necessary to complete that, which will be 3 more toward our progress of completing 40 daily challenges for the week and getting those 400 engineer badges. We're already at 15. Like I said, there's a total of 9 daily challenges per day, and thus we'll be at 18 of 40. So within just a couple more days or whatever, we're going to be really, really close, and then by the end of the week, we'll have no problem meeting this and getting an additional 400 engineer badges. So today, what we're going to do for the remainder is, first off, we have to do 1 raid and then follow on 2 raids. So that's 3 raids, right? In order to complete our daily challenges. Now, remember, if you recall, challenges require fuel cost. My intention is to put all 3 of those raids as progress toward this weekly challenge for 500 engineer badges, which is win 10 battles in hard raids with copper as the reward. Hard raids, if you recall, cost 60 fuel. I have 200 fuel in my tank. 3 of those that I plan on doing is going to be 180 fuel. It's 60 fuel each, 3 of them, 180 fuel. That's going to leave me with 20 fuel, free fuel for the day, basically, in order for me to bottom out my tank so that tonight at midnight, Greenwich Mean Time, it adds 200 fuel and I get the most benefit out of that free fuel, right? Well, if you recall, easy raids cost 20 fuel. And I do have a challenge here to complete 6 easy raids during the course of the week. So what I'm going to do is those 3 hard raids with copper as the reward. That's going to use up 180 fuel. And then with the remaining 20 fuel, I'm going to do 1 easy raid in order to make some progress toward this weekly challenge as well, and another 100 engineer badges. That's the plan. That's the way I'm going to work it. So let's start off by, as I said, hard raids have a minimum power score requirement anyway. So 3 stars are hard raids. So if you look at that hard raid, this is the one I'll be doing anyway. Hard raids with copper is the reward. Minimum power score 5,000. Boom. Obviously this, and it was red because this vehicle does not have a power score of 5,000. Now, I already said that the strength of your vehicle isn't going to affect the strength of the enemy. It's just going to affect the number of the enemy, basically, really. So I don't have any control over that. What I do have control over, though, is how strong a vehicle I can bring to the raid. As long as I meet the minimum requirements, that's great. But do I want to bring the minimum requirements? No. If I want to bring the strongest vehicle I can bring in order to maximize my chances of winning that raid, right? So that's where instead of a 5,000 power score, I'm bringing a 12,800 power score. And why not? Might as well bring a tougher vehicle. I'll be matched up with other people who are also bringing tough vehicles, and we'll go into the battle. Sure, we're going to have, if there's 4 of us, we're going to have a lot of enemies to face and stuff like that, but we're all going to be pretty strong vehicles, and it shouldn't be that challenging. I believe that the power score strength of the vehicle doesn't necessarily impact specifically the stock vehicles that they have for the as far as the strength of them for the raids, but I think it increases the potential of the tier 2 vehicles being there and stuff like that, a little bit stronger versions kind of being there. But I definitely know that the number of people in your party, up to 4, like I said, 2 to 4, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, is going to impact the number of enemies that you face. Because if you only have 2 people in the party, it's going to be a lot smaller number of enemies. Now I'm doing hard raids with copper as the reward. As you can see, I already know the location of that challenge, but if I wanted, remember, I could just click on this and it will highlight that one and subdue all the others. So I know which one I want to select. I have the right vehicle selected. Might as well go ahead and do it. The only other consideration that I might want to do, anytime you're switching vehicles later on in game, after you've gotten numerous co-drivers to choose from, you can switch those around and try to maximize some additional benefits that you might get out of a particular faction's co-driver being in a particular build that you might have. So bear that in mind. Now, likewise, when you're switching blueprints, you can actually assign co-drivers to the blueprint. So every time you switch to a particular vehicle, it knows to swap co-drivers so that you have the co-driver that gives you the most benefit for that vehicle already attached to it. But if you don't do that, then you want to make sure if you don't have one assigned to the blueprint, then you want to make sure you pick the one that that you want to have, either the one that gives you the most benefit or the one you want to level up, maybe the one you just want to get some skill, some reputation for, so that they'll level up and expand their capabilities. So in this group we do have 4. We're doing this is I don't even remember. Perimeter Breach is what it's called. And this one we are going to wind our way through a map. And of containers and a shipping facility of some kind. And we're going to get to the end, and we have to kind of hold the end a little bit for a little while we while waves of enemies are going to fight us, and then once they are dead, we will supposedly pick up the cargo and transport it back to the front to where we spawned ourselves there, and we'll fight a boss up there and some more enemies there. But we got to make our way to the back first, to the cargo. The upcoming event. I've already told you I don't read the news, man. I just click through that thing and get right to fighting. Or get right to my challenges. Not to fighting, I guess. I get right to... Sometimes I get right to talking about tutorials, who knows, whatever it is. But I get right into the game instead. Oh, found a mine. I hear you. So now we can pick up the cargo and then we can move on to the front. Now, do I care about the cargo personally? No. Not really, I don't. Doesn't affect me. Because I don't generally plan on going all the way to the point where using it activates the spawning of the boss. I tend to stay back instead and lob grenades. Let somebody else spawn the boss. He ran me into the wall. Rubbin's racing, man. Oh. That's my own fault. Ooh. That's somebody behind us who needs to get it. Hey, man. Really don't need your input. Ah! That sounds very mysterious. May or may not. I can neither confirm nor deny that I am playing a 10K plane. So, like I said, we're going to do 3 of these, specifically to, and as you can see, one raid already, so therefore it was replaced by 1 and 2 raids for 55 scrap, and of course, the complete 4 daily challenges has moved up. So that's the only one I have left, and then that will complete both of those at once, and that will put me at 18 of 40 for the daily challenges number toward the completion of this weekly challenge and the 400 extra engineer badges. But we're going to complete 2 more of these hard raids with copper as the reward, make some progress there, and then we're going to do 1 easy raid, make some progress there. I'm already in the queue, standing by, do that same type of match right there 2 more times. That's the plan, at least. Don't get me wrong, there are times where sometimes it goes a little bit awry. And, I mean, it's rare. It's rare, but it has happened before. I've been in a group and we've actually lost, you know, just because people don't want to spend, because people got killed enough that and then they don't want to spend on repair kits, or they don't have any repair kits and they don't want to spend coins to respawn. So I don't know. It has happened, but not in a long time for me. I'm playing this game. Alright. There, eat it. Eat the whole bag of D. Yeah, I'm glad I moved up. Hey, what's going up, zombie? Absolutely. That's what I use them for, man. More than anything. Hell yeah. As in... Oh. As in that. Chilling in some clan wall. Oh. Damn it. Got stuck on his wheel. Ah. You gotta be kidding me. Take that. You guys can handle that. Alright, everybody's trying to jockey for position here. He ate it. That dude lit him up. One-shot blast from a distance. Just blew that dude in half, man. Ah, crap. Here comes some in. Oof. I tried to get out of there, but he still caught the tail end of my backside. But there we go. Are we good back here yet? I think we're good now. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Ah! I'm so freaking... Oh my god, dude. It's so much torque now. The back end is so heavy. Ah! Doesn't even turn right anymore. Once my front end gets blown off where it's just down to the cab, then the controlling the vehicle becomes so much harder, especially at speed. It's so sensitive to the slightest turn. And then, of course, you get caught on that little teeny edge of that one container there, and you can't get off of there for save your ass. Oh, my God. Come on. You can do this. Oh, okay. We're going to come out here, are we? All right. Where are we at? Nobody can, Waster. Nobody can. Alright, so we got one more of these to do, right? Yeah, one more of these. Nor can I. I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of such things. The sightings of such things, were they to exist. The activities of such things, were they to exist. It's a phrase you learn to use a lot in certain jobs. Can neither confirm nor deny. Oh, see, this one's only got 2 of us, so there should be a lot less enemies. Nope, never mind. 3rd guy joined. And we're still in the early part of the match, so a 4th could join any moment. And then there's mines. See, there are 4 of us now. I mean, I don't mind if somebody else wants to go first and find all the mines for me. I'm okay with that. I'll make my peace with that real quick. See, I don't play these matches generally as them being a competition between us, for example. Man, some people do. They always, I want to be number one. I want to. Okay, calm yourself. It's okay. I'm a team player more than an individual competitor. I'm a team competitor. Like, our team is better than your team, and I'll fight and die for our team. But I'm not as concerned about individual competition, like, oh, I'm better than you type of thing. That's just probably why the PvP side, even though technically you're on a team, nobody really cares about whether the team wins most of the time. You know, usually the PvP matches are about individuals fighting and stuff like that. So they generally don't care that much about the... Oh my god, this dude just ran right into me. I mean, nobody really cares which team won because you're on a different team the next match, you know, so... Oh my god! These people. I mean, it's not like... Ooh. It's not like in PvP, even though you're on a team, it's not like you're actually coordinating any kind of team efforts of any kind. You know what I'm saying? At least in Clan Wars, you are. Clan Wars, I could see that being a thing, you know, because that's more for the kind of player like I'm talking about, you know, like I am or whatever, where I'm all about our team versus your team. We can improve our skills, we can get better, I'll protect you, you protect me, that kind of stuff. Not just which individual did what. But in other PvP, I'm not as into it. I'm not into the demeasuring contests, you know? Just doesn't mean as much to me. But I get it. I mean, there's a lot of younger folks out there, and a lot of them feel like they have something to prove, so. And I was probably more like that when I was younger as well, but having gotten older, I'm like, nah, I don't care. Okay, fine. Damn, man, he's having a problem driving too, from the looks of things. Ugh. So apparently there's a big, well, big, I mean, a lot bigger than me, streamer named Squirrel as well, even though I'm Secret Squirrel, obviously. But I'm sure there are other secret squirrels too. But I was surprised when I came across his, and he's not a young guy either, so I was like, well, that's cool. I was watching him a little bit. Who here watched Welly's German stream yesterday? I made sure I had myself a nice Hefeweizen while I watched just a tad bit of it. He got a bit of backlash for here. We'll do Steel Cradle because it's fast and easy. He got a bit of backlash, I guess, for doing Fallout Shelter, which is a mobile game, but they do have it on PC as well. And he was trying to play that or whatever, which he had never played. And it's not an exciting game by any means. It's a time sink, you know. It's a time sink. Well, so it was a German stream, but it wasn't in German. It was German themed, I'll say. He was wearing his lederhosen, and he had like German background pictures and things like that or whatever when he would chat or whatever, and he would have like German music playing and things like that. So it was a German theme. But yeah, like I said, he was playing Fallout Shelter, and Fallout Shelter is not, I wouldn't call it stream material, which he discovered and agrees, but he didn't know that going into it. So I mean, I don't blame him for doing it. It's not like it was a poor choice. It was an uninformed choice. That's all. He got the game and he started playing it, and then he was like, "Yeah, this not great. He said, I won't be playing this anymore." It's just a time sink, It's one of those things for like when you're on a bus or in a doctor's office or something like that. And even then, it's not like something that's real entertaining, but it's the kind of thing you can look away and not have to worry about too much or anything. It's not super fast paced or anything. There's no... But it was funny though, as he was discovering that this game was that Fallout Shelter is not a great game for streaming. It's like, yeah, man. Alright, found this entire thing here. Boo, 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 boo. Coming after you. Ah! Miss ya. Are you kidding me? Stop it. Where do these guys keep coming from? You weren't here a second ago. And I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to hear your lip anymore. So, cut it out. Ah, I lost my freaking front wheels. Well, it doesn't matter. Match is over. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Boom. And that's how you do it. So now, to recap real quick. We've talked our way through what daily challenges are, how you accomplish them, smarter ways to accomplish them instead of just randomly getting in there, how they feed into weekly challenges, and that way what the benefits of those are with the engineer badges. We've talked about the badge exchange and what that translates to. We looked on the map and we saw the differences between the different types of battles that you can get into, missions, raids, things like that, how those correlate, how you find them and determine what you're looking at on the map, you know. And then we talked about oh, I didn't notice a blue pen. I'm sorry, I'll look at it in just 1 second, Waster. We talked about efficient ways to use your fuel for raids, how to accomplish the things you need to accomplish to maximize some of your engineer badge benefits, and what that means to you, what that can mean to you. This is very easy. It just takes a little bit of time here, completing 20 or side or group missions, excuse me, in the adventure mode. That's that same area where I would replay this mission, and I will do that in a moment. But I'm just saying we've accomplished all of our daily challenges. Now, other than the special event one, which I will move on to next, and while I'm in there, I will show some, after I complete that one there, I will show some progress toward this. I'm probably not going to do all 20 at one time on this stream, but I will do some, okay? In the meantime, first I'm going to look at Waster's blueprint that he sent. Oh, didn't even notice it. I mean, I read the sentence and didn't even notice it. So this would be his UFO, essentially, that he talked about. Ooh, I'm a little concerned about one aspect. One thing scares me about this. And that's the fact that the Apollo is right under the cab and exposed. Super exposed. Okay. Might have an issue with a little bit of dragging on the ground, you think? So you got some stealth action. Then you take off randomly. Ooh, I did a flip. I did a flip. Alright, well, those rockets just went up into the sky because of the angle we're at. Not sure what your goal is here. Alright, interesting. But since I do have enemies out there... actually, hold on a second. How many do I have? Just the 2? Okay, since I do have enemies, they're allies actually, for now. But we'll see. They're allies until I find them. Oh, I don't have my retchers anymore. Why am my thing... Oh, he disappeared. No. Oh. He has stuffies. Okay. I didn't realize he had cell. I was like, I thought the computer glitched out for a second. It's alright. First, let me do that. And where's the other guy? Oh, he's back here. Okay. There you go. Now, so yes, I did check out that blueprint you sent me. And like I said, the exposed Apollo is the issue I would have right under the cab in the back. Not to mention the fact that you're just dragging your whole ass in everywhere, but whatever. Alright, so first I'm going to do that daily challenge of redoing one of the quest line adventures, and then I'll just do a few of the side quests that are available in the Awakening. Does it? Oh, of course. I understand that. I mean, hell, retchers aren't for everyone. I mean, they're quite successful for some, and then they're not for everybody. So just because something's not for everybody does not mean in any way that it's not effective, that's for sure. Alright, fine, let's go. I don't need to hear the story. Let's go, Munch. This again. This is the same one I did yesterday, I think. Come on. Just come on. Why are you... Oh my god. Why are you turning so hard? Just go forward. Yeah, come on. All right. Wait, there's a vulture ambush ahead. Stop them, guys. Oh no, what to do? Do I have to do everything myself? Watch and learn. Watch and learn. Well, go ahead. Bring it then. You watch and learn. Oh, what's the matter? You run into that RV that I strategically positioned there? Which I didn't really, but still. Leave. Leave on fire. Leave on likes his fire. Where's the shader? Where's Munch? Sam, we gotta leave now. Vultures, I'm your new boss. Anyone who disagrees and wants to test his strength? Thought so. And Munch is a dead man walking. So we've completed that. That was part of a story, in case it seems very, out of place that there was no storyline attached to it. That's because it was a segment of the quest line story that you can do in the Awakening Adventure Mode area. That once completed with the whole thing, once you've completed the whole thing, you get just segment at a time to redo each day for additional rewards. It's a good way to help level up one of the co-drivers or anything like that that you might have that's not leveled up yet, because it gives a significant amount of reputation. And that's what I'm using it for right now, honestly. The other stuff, the scrap and all that stuff that it gives, it's not much. It's a little bit. But then again, it also didn't take much effort to do. Oh, ho, ho, ho. So, but you'll go, as far as the side or group quests are concerned, you go into the Awakening mode there. And you'll see these little light towers and stuff like that. This one's not lit right now, but this is the one that I had selected. And it'll give you... there's only a few different options, really, for the side or group quests. One of them is scouting the area, like this. This one says scout the area for lunatics, and it gives you little markers to go to. And there are others, like go and collect 5 containers, and you have to... And on the mini-map, in that case, it'll show like a blue circle centered around wherever the quest giving map or quest giving light post was, and you'll search that area for 5 of these containers that you'll pick up. Another one might say go kill 4 lunatics or nomads or whatever it is that are in a particular area, and you'll go to that area, the highlighted area that'll be on the mini map, and you'll have to kill 4 of that faction that are in that area. Another, like this one, is just go and deliver cargo somewhere else on the map, and you'll collect it, and it'll take you to one of certain locations. There's only a handful of locations that they go to, possibility, and then you'll be done with that one. Let's see. I think that's mainly it. There might be one more that I'm forgetting. Well, that's mainly it for the regular side quests. So yeah, they can get repetitive, definitely. Once you learn the spawn locations of things like the the crates and things like that, where they tend to be, then it it becomes easy breezy. Definitely easy to find, easy to finish. And then also as you cruise around in this mode, you'll find little trash piles, and you can search them and get random little bits of scrap and copper and things like that, whatever kind of resource. And that's all it takes to complete that one, for example, is just hit the spot, man. Get there and get out. See, and here's another delivery mission. Hopefully it's right to the to Small Forge. I didn't see, so the market. Okay, that's not that bad. That's still not far. And just like that, we'll have done what? 3, 4 of these things? I don't know. Something like that. And you only have to do 20, so in a week. So it's not like it's difficult. See, I'm just ignoring those guys. I'm ignoring that scrap even, just because I don't want to hassle with those dudes right now. You just race on over. And then you, like, see, here's the container one, container mission. Where once you accept this mission, see, it puts a circle centered around this light post, and you go looking for containers. And like I said, once you know where they spawn, it's not too difficult. Like, there's almost always one inside this crater right here. There's usually one right up here. Alright, so now we have an issue because we have a group event that's going on right here as well. In our area for our container thing, so we have a little bit of conflict. Are you kidding me? Dude. He's gonna drive up over the whole thing, are you? See. Usually you don't have to really worry about this as much. This just happens to be a group event that's going on in the same area where I'm trying to get these damn containers. I'm just trying to get the containers, man. I don't care about these guys. Oh, so that is the key, though. Remember it said 20 side or group missions? Well, these are group missions, and technically you get credit for participating in them, even if you don't finish them. Even as long as you participated. So I get credit for that anyway. Down with work, up with fun. What's going on, Gore? How are we doing today? I haven't had work in a long time, so I miss work actually in a way. But at the same time, I was gonna say busy with worry. What are you worried about? But at the same time, you know, I do have schoolwork now because I went ahead and went back to school, take some classes. I figured why not. I've got money that comes to me if I go to school because of the military, because of the GI Bill. So I figured might as well, right? You know, this guy's gonna piss me off. This guy just keeps doing his little cannon thing like he's somebody. Alright, I don't like you. That's what you get. Not actually going to do any more of these side missions anyway, I don't think, right now, but at least I've shown what they are and how they work. And I will just simply return to the garage. Be done with that. Let's see how many of them that we did end up getting. We got 5 of them done already. That's not too bad. Not too bad. It didn't qualify as a group mission completed for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But maybe they did change it. It used to at least be where as long as you took a shot at the enemy and or whatever, and then as long as you participated to some degree, you qualified as the group mission being completed. I don't know what it needs now. Maybe you actually have to win it instead of failing. I don't know. But nevertheless, either way, I got 5 cider group missions out of it, so that's already a quarter of the way done for the week. So that's not too bad. You know, I can finish that up anytime. I can do that at a leisurely pace whenever I'd like. But for now, we are done with our challenges. We've done with our daily challenges. We've made some progress toward our weekly challenges. I explained how challenges work, explained what you get for doing challenges, I explained efficient ways to do challenges, I explained about the map and what the symbols and stuff like that basically mean on the map and how those correlate to the challenges, the different verbiages between the different words, basically, the word choices between mission and battle and raid and things like that, and brawl and all that. And we demonstrated how to accomplish challenges. We demonstrated the differences between missions and raids, for example, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, talked about the efficient way to do them as well. Knocked those out. Showed on the badge exchange what you can get for them and everything. And I think that that wraps that up pretty well, I would say. That puts a nice little bow on it and wraps that up. That's a good tutorial on the challenges, the challenge system, and how to use that to your advantage, because as a newer player, you can do those challenges, get those daily challenges done in order to qualify for that weekly challenge of several of those weekly challenges, I should say, and get the engineer badges as the reward for that, and then you can use those engineer badges to gain access to some of those parts that you may not have access to otherwise through workbenches and stuff yet, because you're relatively new and haven't earned the faction reputation to unlock those workbenches yet. So it's always a good thing in that sense. So on that note, I say thank you very much for tuning in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glance and see if anybody else is around who might tuning in. Oh, hold on. I'm also going to first give myself a double audio there, and then I am going to look and see who else is doing what. Oh, Welly changed his little icon on Twitch. Welly Live. Da, 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 da. Does it say? Oh, it doesn't say anymore. It used to. I thought it used to say how long somebody had been going. Well, he's been going for 3 hours. Let's. I'll take you over to Welly and show you what's up and give you a what's up over there. So, and then I'll come on back and do some. Kimchi maybe in just a little bit as well. But I am going to take a brief break before I do that. And so in the meantime, I'm going to take you guys over and raid Welly and give him a hello for me. And I will see you guys later. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. Always appreciated. If you want to catch my crossout streams, they are at noon Eastern Time in the United States, which is -4 UTC on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays and Fridays. And I also stream other games too, but they're just not scheduled, so they're a little bit more ad hoc. Well, that's not true. Baldur's Gate 3 I stream on Saturdays at noon, but not every Saturday. It really depends because it's multiplayer, and it kind of depends on if the other guys are available to do so. Like this Saturday, we're not going to be doing it, but the next Saturday after that, I think we're going to be scheduled again. But nevertheless, Secret Squirrel Games is the channel. I'm your host, Secret Squirrel. I thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, please go ahead and hit the follow button, and you'll be notified when I do go live with those other games as well. And also, if you want to catch up on any of my past streams, in addition to videos on demand available on my Twitch channel, there are also, all of my streams are also available on my YouTube channel, which is also called Secret Squirrel Games and bears the same logo as this one right here above me. So thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, always appreciate it. Always good to have the company, the camaraderie, the community. Always good. I'm going to go ahead and send you guys over to Welly, though, for now. And I may come back on with some kimchi in just a little bit after a brief break. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good one, all right?